A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant escalation of rhetoric, Russian President Vladimir Putin has issued a stark warning regarding any potential deployment of Western troops to Ukraine. Speaking at an economic forum in Vladivostok, Putin stated that such forces would be deemed legitimate targets for Russian military action. This warning comes amidst ongoing military operations in Ukraine and highlights the tense geopolitical landscape as the conflict continues to unfold. Putin emphasized that if Western troops were to appear in Ukraine, particularly during active military operations, they would be viewed as targets for destruction. He further expressed skepticism about the rationale for their presence, stating, "If decisions are reached that lead to peace, to long-term peace, then I simply do not see any sense in their presence on the territory of Ukraine, full stop." This declaration follows remarks made by French President Emmanuel Macron, who announced that 26 countries are ready to send military personnel or provide other forms of support as part of a security guarantees plan for Ukraine post-conflict. Among these nations are Italy, Poland, and Germany, which have been identified as security guarantors for Ukraine, according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The Kremlin has consistently rejected the notion of a Western-led peacekeeping force in Ukraine, with Putin asserting that Russia would comply with any treaty established to end the ongoing invasion, which has been in effect since February 2022. Ukraine is actively seeking support from Western allies to bolster its defenses against any future Russian aggression. Notably, the United Kingdom, France, and Estonia have expressed their willingness to deploy troops to Ukraine. Former U.S. President Donald Trump, who has advocated for an end to the conflict, has ruled out the presence of U.S. troops on the ground, but has indicated a willingness to provide some form of air support for Ukraine. In a recent conversation with Zelensky, Trump discussed maximum protection for Ukraine's airspace, emphasizing the need to shield Ukrainians from ongoing Russian attacks until peace is achieved. The former president has also sought to facilitate a meeting between Putin and Zelensky, following his separate discussions with both leaders last month. However, Putin has cast doubt on the likelihood of reaching an agreement with Ukraine, stating that it would be practically impossible to negotiate on key issues. Earlier this week, Putin extended an invitation to Zelensky for a meeting in Moscow, suggesting that he would outline working conditions and security during the proposed summit. Nevertheless, he expressed frustration over what he perceived as excessive demands from Ukraine regarding the meeting's location. The situation remains critical as Russia continues its aerial bombardments of Ukraine, launching numerous drone strikes and missile attacks overnight, according to reports from Ukraine's Air Force. As the conflict persists, the divide between Kyiv and Moscow appears to widen, with foreign troops potentially playing a role in Ukraine's post-war security framework, despite the serious implications outlined by the Russian leadership. With the international community closely monitoring developments, the path toward a resolution remains fraught with challenges and uncertainty, underscoring the complexities of diplomacy in a time of war. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.